By his own admission, Klopp was a journeyman footballer. In his memorable words, he had a first division mind, but fourth division feet. It was a triumph of mind over matter to enjoy a long career in German football's second tier with Mainz. He was 33 and still registered as a player when Mainz appointed him as coach in February 2001. Faced with an uphill battle against relegation, he transformed their fortunes overnight. That first division mind seemed so much better suited to management. Klopp's long-serving agent, Mark Kozik, describes him as someone who understands football as a top coach needs to understand it, but whose main competence is dealing with people. He is something God-given for that, Kozik told German website Spox in 2019. His eloquence, the way he speaks, his rhetoric. You cannot learn to set the right punchline at the right time. Jan Dehling, who worked with Klopp at Mainz and then later at German television station ZDF during the 2006 World Cup, describes him in similar terms. If you want to explain your ideas to people and motivate people, it's important to give them a good feeling, Dehling says. He's very funny and very clever, the way he uses humor to make people feel good and to feel motivated to do their job. There's a word in German, Menschenfänger. It means something like person catcher in a very positive way. That's Jurgen. The way he uses his personality, the way he communicates, the way he uses his humor to motivate people and make them feel good about themselves. I would describe it as social intelligence. Dortmund's long-serving chief executive Hans-Joachim Watzke has used that same word Menschenfänger to describe Klopp. So does Mainz executive Christian Heidel, talking about him in Raphael Honigstein's book Bring the Noise. So did Borussia Mönchengladbach and USM Mentee goalkeeping coach Fabian Ott in a recent interview with Sky Sports, saying he was bowled over by Klopp when they met briefly during his time at Burnley. Klopp feels he extracted the maximum from his limited talents as a player. As a manager, his job is to get the most out of players who are vastly more talented. That means winning hearts and minds. It means taking people on a journey, the way he did at Mainz, leading them to the top flight for the first time in their history at Dortmund, 2 Bundesliga titles and a Champions League final, and at Liverpool, a first Champions League title in 14 years and a first English League title in 30 years. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, who spent 6 years under him at Liverpool, describes him as amazing at motivating and getting every inch of effort and belief out of everyone. He also cites a fear factor where any brief drop in intensity, even in training, never mind on the pitch at Anfield in a high-stakes game, would attract his fury. And nobody wanted that. It is a rare combination in the modern game. Iron fist, velvet glove. It doesn't take players long to work out whether their efforts in a particular game are going to earn them one of those warm bear hugs or a withering glare. They find themselves desperate to please him, desperate not to disappoint him. That part sounds a little like his relationship with his father. Klopp seems softer and warmer in many ways, but he has many of the same characteristics, packaged differently. He says his father's approach was a lot more about giving criticism than praise for something you did, but that was his generation. He once said his big regret is that his father died in 2000 without seeing him make the leap into management and coaching that has represented his calling in life. He added, "If he had seen how my life turned out after I started as a manager, I think he would have been pretty happy." Isolde Reich works as a hairdresser in one of Glatten's neighboring villages. When the Athletic arrives unannounced on her doorstep, asking whether she might be willing to talk about her younger brother, she makes a very Klopp-like expression, the one he makes in a news conference when he is hit with a question he isn't expecting. But then her features soften again, and she seems to warm to the idea. She is interested to hear what Ulrich and Ingo Rath have said about the traits her brother inherited from both parents. More their father, she suggests with a smile. but maybe ein gut Mischung, a good mix. She says she and her husband Kurt are happy to talk if I come back the following afternoon. 24 hours later, Kurt answers the door with an apology. They have spoken to Jurgen, and he would prefer they don't talk. They're sorry, and so is he. Nothing personal, Kurt says, but his brother-in-law is a private guy. In many ways, Klopp seems the opposite. A grinning, laughing, fist-pumping extrovert, charismatic, uber-confident, larger than life, heart on his sleeve, always in the middle, as his childhood friend Ingo puts it.